And we have danced Billy Bollock naked around the burning effigy in Summer Isle. Hang on.
Start again. It's one for the outtakes, ladies and gentlemen. Although Reeves didn't like the voice of John Stern, that Robert... Why can I not say Robert Russell?
Robert Russell.
Robert Russell.
I've not done that on purpose, that's his...
No, I know, this is ridiculous, isn't it? The devil's mark was supposedly a teat that witches used to suckle imps, usually concealed as a mole or a wart. Please don't ever do that again.
Young man, I've made 84 films. What have you done?
I've made 2 good ones. I know.
Hang on, has anyone got a handbag?
Ooh.
He even convinced Parliament to pass the Witchcraft Statute of 1604, which ruled witchcraft. I'm turning to Terry Jones here.
If they sank and drowned, they would be innocent and received into heaven. If they floated, they would be tried as a witch.
In fact, there's a bit in the film where 2 of them float, one of them drowns. She says, she was innocent. It's like, yes, but she's still fucking dead.
She's still dead.
Not bed. Sorry. So what have you brought to show the class
I
today?
brought to show the class. They've done a deal with Tygon. So they're doing Tygon collection of films at the moment. So they're re-releasing all the Tygon stuff. So Blood and Satan's Claw is here.
No, it's not. That's Witchfinder General.
No.
Do that again. That's an outtake.
Thank you.
Now, being an 80s kid, my first exposure to Vincent Price was, funnily enough, in Michael Jackson's Thriller, where his voice was used as part of the song. Darkness falls across the land, midnight hour is closing. And of course, he was actually a character in the animated series The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo.
Which is not one of the best Scooby-Doo cartoons, to be fair.
No. He played a warlock named Vincent Van Gool, who was voiced by and based upon Price's appearance. And he would contact the Scooby Gang using his crystal ball and would often employ magic and witchcraft to assist them in trying to recapture the 13 ghosts of the title, which had escaped from the chest of demons that Scooby and Shaggy had been tricked in opening. Just don't expect to see Vinegar Tom or any of Hopkins' other imaginally titled familiars popping up. Perhaps they were a little too whimsical for this gruesome tale.
Before the BBFC was the BBFC, the British Board of Film Classification, it was the British Board of Film Censorship. And what happened, so at this time, what you would do is that the filmmakers would send a copy of the script into the BBFC to be appraised before they'd even done anything. And then the cuts and the questions and what have you actually start even before the cameras have been started rolling. There's a lot of sort of examples of when sort of directors have had massive great big back and forth between themselves and the BBFC over the film and what have you. What you can and can't do. And what you mean I can't do this? Ken Russell, famously, who directed Tommy and what have you, his film The Devils, which still hasn't ever been seen completely uncut and the way that he wanted it to be seen, which is, if you ever read about it, you'll understand why. There's a massive, great big sort of letter writing campaign between him and the head of the BBFC. Oh, what was his name? Something Trevelyan, I think it was. The letters are wonderful. It's it's a director and a kind of like a censor disagreeing agreeably. It's remarkably polite.
Having an argument in the most polite way possible.
Absolutely. But that's just how those films are run. So when the script for Witchfinder General went in, it was like, does this have to happen? And I think there's a bit at the end of the film where, in the original cut, it does cut away, and you don't see Ian Ogilvy's character landing that many blows, shall we say?
Yeah.
But when you watch kind of like an uncut version, there's a different downgrading in the film stock. I take it that's the uncut version that you. This is the uncut version. But when you do watch it, even with the upgrading and what have you, you can still see there's a little bit of a difference in sort of the film quality.
Due to a different film version, a different film grade.
Yeah. So basically, the bit that was cut out and what have you has been put back in. They've cleaned it up as best they can, which is great. But you can actually tell.
Blood on Satan's Claw, the violence is more pronounced, it's more on screen, and there's a...
there is that scene.
There's the scene, the ritual scene, shall we say, and a similar scene goes on in Witchfinder General, but they cut away from it, so it's left to the audience's imagination what happens.
Yeah.
With the Blood on Satan's Claw, it's on screen, it's blatantly on screen, and it's... Yeah, less is more in this case, I think.
Yeah, and I think that actually shows just how good of a director Reeves is. And I know we're only basing this on 3 films, but if a director at the age of 24, 25 knows, I don't need to show that bit, I only need to show up until here, and then the audience will fill in the rest of it, that's really, really, really good. It's like that bit in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I genuinely don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it's that bit where everybody says, "Oh yeah," and then Leatherface just put that guy on the hook, and I say, "Did he?" Which he did, but you don't actually see him do that.
You don't
it cuts away. You might hear the sound effect of
you
of a
don't
hook.
see the piercing of
You
flesh.
don't see him being put up there. It cuts away, and then you fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
In effect, it's letting the audience cut the film, and you're seeing kind of like your cut of the film.
You're letting the audience do the work for you.
Yeah.
And Halloween, the original Halloween, is you go back and watch it. It is fairly bloodless. There's not a lot of blood and gore in the original Halloween. By the time they come to Halloween 2, they had to ramp up the blood and gore because Friday the 13th had come out, and they were now having to compete with that.
Yeah.
But the first Halloween, not really that gory.
No, in actual fact, I'll probably say most of John Carpenter's original sort of films and what have you, they're not really that gory. I know you can probably make an argument for The Thing being quite gory, and yeah, it's some science fiction monster violence and what have you, but
It's not blood though, it's more like
it's
green
more
pus.
green. And
It was jelly and ice cream and mayonnaise that they used for that.
It was, yeah. It was, yeah.
And I think because of that, this is why The Witchfinder General is a more competently made film than The Blood on Satan's Claw. You can see where that film tried to copy Witchfinder General in order to try and replicate its success. But for me, out of what we watched here of our folk horror trilogy, I think The Wicker Man is my favourite film out of the 3. This is a very close second, and Blood on Satan's Claw. I know people love it, but for me, it is a very low 3rd place.
I still thought, when you compare these 3, I agree with that position. Well, what have you? I still think The Blood on Satan's Claw is a really, really good film. Again, it is a grim, difficult watch in places. Witchfinder General is a massively difficult watch. If you're not in the right frame of mind to watch Witchfinder General, you've had it.
Yeah.
Quite frankly.
Whilst The Wicker Man, again, surprisingly, has very little gore.
Yeah.
Sergeant Howard gets a few cuts and scripts by the end of the film.
Yeah.
And there is the obligatory excessive female.
There is that, yes. But also with The Wicker Man you get fantastic songs. It's in many respects.
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
It's a musical.
I'd like to think that I have, despite your influence, I have maintained my moral compass.
You came across me in a storm drain with a red balloon. Hey Luke, we all float down here, mate. Yes, I've just compared myself to Pennywise the dancing clown.
Don't mention clowns.
Oh, have you got a thing for clowns?
Yeah, I don't like clowns.
Really?
Yeah.
So, sorry, serious note.
I really don't like
Stephen
clowns.
King's It just like off the short list completely?
Oh yeah, that's never going to happen.
Right, okay.
That's never going to happen in either way. Either sort of the recent films with, is it Bill Skarsgård?
It is, yes.
Bill, the Crow film was a mistake.
Why? Why would you do
Why?
that?
Why? Anyway, yeah, as much as I love Tim Curry, never happening.
Right. So what you're saying is then, between doing Stephen King's It and Doctor Who Dimensions in Time, you'd rather do Dimensions in Time?
Yes.
Wow, okay, I'm just
Yeah. Make a note of that. I would rather do it. It's also the reason why I don't like and will never rewatch the Doctor Who: The Great Show in the Galaxy.
Oh, right.
Clowns.
Of course. So between doing that and doing The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, you'd rather do The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
I go for the clowns.
I think I'm doing a list here.
No, I think I'll go for the clowns, to be fair.
So you would rather do Dimensions in Time than do League of Extraordinary Gentlemen?
We're never doing the League of Extraordinary, and this is not a joke, okay? This is not a joke. It's awful.
I know it's
awful. It is an
awful.
awful film.
I know it's awful. I remember the one and only time that I watched it, and I've never been back to it since. Funnily enough, neither did Sean Connery. But are you telling me?
Quite tells you something there.
Are you telling me here and now that you would rather cover Doctor Who: Dimensions in Time, the terrible comic relief charity special? You would take that over the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen or anything involving a clown?
Yeah.
Right. I think I know what this year's Christmas special is going to be then. we did on An Earthly Child last Christmas. Should we go back to the Doctor Who well for this Christmas?
What, and do Dimensions in Time?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Dimensions in Time in 3D.
In 3D. So get your glasses on standby.
Oh.
Is that a no?
I've really done it now, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've really done it now.
Right. I know. Right. I'm just
Only.
Yeah.
Because Dimensions in Time is a very short episode. It was only a bit 10, 15 minutes or something like that.
You spared.
Yeah, which is fine, but only if we do it as a slightly more double header with the other charity special. So Children in Need did Dimensions in Time, Comic Relief did The Curse of the Fatal Death, which was even better. So yes, can we please do that, please?
Right, I don't have a problem with that. Whether or not we actually do it as a Christmas special or not, we'll have to see.
But we would have to do it as a double, as a double header.
We will do it as a double header.
Double header as the charity special.
Yeah,
that would work.
This isn't going in the main video. This is going in the blooper reel.
Oh, this is going in the blooper reel. Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
But that's fine. Okay, so whether or not we do it for a Christmas special or not, we're going to do Dimensions in Time and we're going to
Curse of the Fatal Death.
So it'll be a two-part.
It will be kind of like a two-part or two special, whatever.
Right.
I really would want to do that.
I'm glad you've said that because I've already started writing it. You fell into my trap.
Sweet Jesus. Wow.